So I know there's been a difference when I have seen people as capable versus when I've thought, oh, they're not maybe that smart, or I wish they would do something more, throughout my life, right? And our actual thinking or the concepts that we have of other people affects their behavior around us. And it can get really interesting because you'll sometimes have people say, people always say this to me. And they'll say, people always, it could be maybe something they don't like or they do like, or this always happens to me. I always hear this from other people. And that's because that is their perspective. That's part of their vibration and their programming. So changing the environment is key, but the ultimate place to get to is that you're made peace. You have to make peace with where you are, make peace where you are with your environment, because then you're not reacting. And when we emotionally react, if we go to this slide, we're going to let the environment then program us. And so the environment is going to kind of control how we're thinking, how we're feeling. So it takes time, it takes practice, it takes planning, it takes writing out, becoming aware of what we no longer want to think, and not allowing the environment to cause us to feel the same way. And the terror barrier is kind of that point of where you're in somewhat of a chaotic state because you have the old you and your old life that is holding on, and you're on the brink of going into your new life. But if we want a change in our life, we have to look at the personality traits and behaviors that is of that future person. So an abundant person is visionary. They have a vision. They wake up with that, and they see their vision through to the end. So no matter how many barriers or obstacles, they're able to really see it through. They're purpose-driven. They're creative. Forges their own path. They think independently. Right? They're not going to let their environment think for them. They're going to be an independent thinker. They have energy and they have passion, and they stay inspired. That stayed inspired one was really key for me because, again, in some cases I'll catch myself looking for someone or something to inspire me. And that's the old model of reality. That's cause and effect. We want to go within and say, no, when we change ourselves, then we'll see a change in our environment. So they learn and apply things. They learn from their mistakes, and they're not going to beat themselves up and understand that there's an opportunity in mistakes, and the brain learns from mistakes and surprises, so that's how we learn. They can overcome loss. You have to be self-aware of yourself. You're emotionally intelligent. You can manage your emotions. You can manage your energy. You're persistent. You're determined. You're disciplined and consistent. You're able to focus. You're able to adapt based on what's happening around you. You are adaptable. And you're resilient in facing adversity. You embrace change for growth. So again, those C-type goals, those big goals, we don't know how, you can embrace that and you can really grow out of that. You have an excellent work ethic. You give your best. And there's a really good audiobook I would suggest. You can buy it as well. It's called The 4 Agreements. And the 4 Agreements really, maybe some of you have heard of that. But the 4th agreement is always do your best. And there is a line that sticks out to me is that when we're not doing our best, we're actually cutting ourselves off of truly living who we are. So always do your best. So you're self-confident, you believe in possibilities, you lead by example. I'm sure we've all come in contact with people, let's say, or even maybe in customer service, you've seen this maybe in your life over the years, where there could be a really angry customer and the person remains calm. And their energy can actually influence the other person, and they're leading with love, or they're leading by example, and they can bring that other person down into a calmer state. So that is leading by example, because that other person will maybe start to emanate them. Maintains order in chaos. That one's very challenging. It takes a lot of practice, but I'm sure a lot of you have many things going on in your life, family members, kids, work, school, etc. Sustains an abundance mindset. Again, we want to every day. We don't want to be always problem-oriented. We do want to be solution-oriented and see the opportunity in our lives. They're optimistic, master risk-taking, you can be ambitious, you're generous, you are grateful. That's very important. What I like to do, try to remember every morning is as soon as I open my eyes, I try to say thank you. And I say it a few times in my head and sometimes even out loud, or by the time your feet hit your floor, say thank you, and you'll notice it's different and really feel, just feel gratitude. So you have a healthy relationship with money, and in some cases taking maybe a free online finance course or just some small resources around that can be a good way to build up that relationship with money. You're humble, thrives in discomfort because you understand that if there's discomfort or you're out of your comfort zone, it's like, I'm right on track, because if things are familiar and I can predict things happening in my life, I'm not on my path to change. So get excited when you get uncomfortable, because that's one of the surest signs that you are in that river of change. You're changing your life. So you create opportunity from challenges, you manage time and attention, you make time for yourself, so you gotta carve out the time, wake up early in the morning, spend time with yourself, really being intentional. You celebrate your victories, you own that. I'm sure many of you have also done this, where someone gives you a compliment and you say, oh no, it was nothing, it was nothing. So really own and celebrate those victories as well. You're an effective communicator and you challenge the self. So important to kind of go through these, think about what they really mean, and typically look at maybe what are some of the few personality traits that I want to embody. And so on the other side or below that, this one is almost, I wouldn't say more important, but it's a huge way of how we can really find out what's in our way. And when I first saw this, I thought, wow, there are several of these I definitely identify with. So this is the personality of lack. So this is a lackful person, and these are their behaviors and how they think and how they feel. So they sustain a lackful mindset. They wait for life to change in order to change. So it's waiting for an external circumstance, and you're not creating, making things happen. You have a victim mentality, and victim, what it means in this context is that you're letting something external control how you feel. Could say, I can't feel, or I can't be hopeful or believe in myself or in possibility unless this person changes or this circumstance changes. So that's really what it means in this context.